As you might be aware, Gravity Falls is sort of the foundation for this channel, and it's something that I really like Gravity Falls as a show. I think being one of the I don't think it's the first show I've ever watched, but being one of the shows that I think I really connected with, and I think the main reason is because of the mystery aspect to it. And the show mainly has this sort of thing around conspiracy theories, cryptids, just everything that involves mystery, right? The major thing that I liked about the show is between the two twins, Mabel and Dipper, and also the whole family as a whole, right? And even if they're not really family, some of the friends that Mabel and Dipper interact with Seuss and there's a whole cast of characters that kind of make the show what it is. The focus that it has on family, like I just said before, it has a big message on family, and I think that is kind of where the core of the show is. And you can tell that the show is based off that, because I'm pretty sure Alex Hirsch based it off his own experiences in Portland, Oregon, right, during the summer with his own grandpa, right? Not only is it one of the best Disney shows that I've seen, I still think that it has this timeless quality to it that most shows that I've watched haven't. Compared to a lot of other shows where you have multiple writers on the team, it kind of maybe bogs down the overall vision that they're creating. I think that Gravity Falls, to me, stays consistent because from my understanding, it seemed like it was planned out before it was fully made. And so I feel like it ended on its own terms, and it ended up being a good show because it had a plan. You know what I mean? Going into it. It felt like I could be completely wrong on that, but I do think that it was more structured and had more of a plan. And so a lot of the episodes that were released, well, they probably were written by some different people. It all came together. I don't know where I would rank this show. I'm probably not going to say S.
Wow, that's pretty shocking. I really liked it at the time, but my thoughts kind of changed on it. I will say that I at least appreciate that the creator seems like he did, like you said, plan the story out. And you don't really see that much.
One thing I also want to mention, one of the best episodes in a cartoon, Not What He Seems. Not What He Seems is one of the best episodes. It was even nominated, I believe, just because it was that good of an episode. The animation, the story, everything on that episode is really well done. And, can you trust the people that are most close to you? And I think it was a very enriching show to watch. Now, ultimately, there's a lot of things about the show that I probably say that I wouldn't recommend about it, just because I think overall my taste on media has changed. Bill Cipher, I think he's a very good villain for the show, and I think he's kind of supposed to be representative of the embodiment of just 2D, right? Just okay, we're gonna avoid reality, and what if reality could?
Are we talking about spoilers in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Cipher represents this facsimile of reality, right? And that's why he's the end villain also. And he also parallels with Gideon, because Gideon also watches over the town people. Yeah, I think the ultimate villain is the fiction, right? Because he's a fictional character, and he's the fiction of the show. That's ultimately the villain, is the fiction. Because, Mabel wants to avoid reality, and, you know what I mean? They all want to avoid reality. So it's the fiction is the villain at the end of the series, right? Wanting to not accept reality and avoid it. If I were to say the core theme of Gravity Falls, it would be about family, right? That, Bill Cipher, he left all the people behind him, right? All of the people in this dimension, his family, he left them behind. And the whole thing with Stan is that he sacrifices for his family, and Bill Cipher, ultimately, they're almost parallel with each other, Bill Cipher and Stan, because it's Bill Cipher is if who Stan was, right? The person that Stan could have been if he didn't care about his family, and he rejected everybody that helped him throughout his life, and he did that, and he ended up just leading that life. Which, he technically did leave a bad life, right? He was a con man, he was in jail and stuff like that. And he ultimately did let everybody in his life down because, he did a lot of bad decisions, and he also ruined Stanford's ability to go to college because it wasn't necessarily his fault necessarily. It was his fault, but I don't think he intended for it, right? But it ultimately culminated into a lot of bad life decisions and stuff like that. You know, like he's kind of been the black sheep of his own family, right? But I think that ultimately in the end he does something for the sake of his family, whereas Bill Cipher destroying his dimension and then leaving everybody behind in his, in his wake, right? So I think that separates like the kind of the major villain and the person that ends up making the sacrifice at the end. Now, obviously, the sacrifice is short-lived because he didn't permanently lose his memory because of Mabel's scrapbook, right?
It's a pretty deep show, I will say that, and very unique.
Also very mature too. I think it's one of those.
A little too mature for a kid show, but
no, I don't mean like mature in the sense that it has dark things. I don't mean like that. I think
it does have some dark
things. I
think
it handles things maturely. I don't mean like maturity in the sense of how explicit it is.
So I think that's a fair placement.
I would say A. I think it's an A show. I wouldn't put most things in S anyway, because I don't think there is really a cartoon.
We have to put something in S.
Well, maybe. But I think I'd put it in A. I think over the years, I probably would have ranked it higher, maybe. If it was like early, like maybe if it was just off of the heat of the finale, I might have put it here, but I think it's one of my favorite, but I don't know, like over the years it's kind of fallen down. And look, there might be another show in the future, we'll see, like a continuation perhaps, and we'll see how that goes off. But it took 40 episodes, it did what it needed to do, and then it didn't do anything extraneous. It did it well, and yeah.